Hi, what's up YouTube? It's your girl Princess and I'm here with another video. Very long time from the last video, but we are here. So as you can see by the title, I will be telling my story on my SA case. If you don't know what SA means or stands for, sexual assault. Yes, I know this is a sensitive topic for some people. Don't mind my baby, my cat. Her name is Toothless. Y'all meet Toothless. Say hey, Toothless. But yeah, this topic can be sensitive. Things I am going to disclose to you guys can be sensitive to some people's ears. You feel what I'm saying? So your discretion is advised. If you feel triggered, if you feel anything, don't be afraid to click off of this video, okay? The reason why I am able to sit here and talk to you guys and share my story is because, for one, it happened years ago. For two, I dealt with it mentally, physically, by law. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I think this is a big step for me to, go ahead and, just bring my story out here. You feel me? Nobody really know, like my friends, my friends know now, but a lot of people didn't really know. Like a lot of people on Instagram before I posted the reel. Some of you probably seen the reel, some of you probably haven't, but I'm gonna hit it right here. So this is the reel that I posted. That was like my first time ever like telling anybody, like I didn't really tell nobody. I just posted the reel, like well, like my friends wise, like, yeah, like this has been going on in my life, nobody never knew. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, and then I got, a lot of support, a lot of love from people. I was really scared at first. Like I was really scared to, like, oh my gosh, y'all, I'm sorry. Okay, I was really scared to open up about the situation or even to post anything on social media, YouTube, anything about my case, about what I've been through, about what I'm going through, because I was scared to be judged. I was scared to being treated differently than how they used to treat me before. You feel me? I don't really like handouts. I don't really like people trying to, oh well, you went through this, I'm so I love the support, telling me that you're being there, but I don't like being treated differently because of what I've been through. You feel what I'm saying? So yes, I guess we're just gonna go ahead and get started and to my story. So I want to say how everything started. I was adopted by my older sister and her husband Gary. Before this, I was already living with them back when we used to live in Florida. And if you don't know, now you know. I am from Florida. I am not from Georgia. I was not Toothless. Oh my gosh, please I am from Florida. I am not from Georgia. You feel what I'm saying? I was born in Fort Beach, Florida. I was raised in all parts of Florida, about 4 or 5 different cities. You feel what I'm saying? If you another story, different video. So yeah, I was living in Florida. At the time I was in 6th grade. I was acting up very bad. I want to say I was acting off of feelings because it was a lot going on in my life at the time, which is another story, another video. But yeah, so they end up, my sister end up saying that like I was a lot. You feel what I'm saying? She was saying she was gonna put me in foster care. I didn't really believe her. At the time I never believed her, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go in foster care. Like that never like came across my mind, like, yeah, I'm gonna actually go in foster care. But no, that actually did happen. I actually did go into foster care. That was like the beginning of like a lot for me, to be honest, which is another story. But yeah, I was put in foster care, and then about like a year and a half or 2 years later, they said that they had wanted me back. And honestly, truthfully, like, I'm not gonna come up here and try to sell y'all a story or lie about my story or lie how I felt or how I feel what I'm saying. So Yes, my end of 8th grade year. At my end of 8th grade year, after I graduated, like I think it was the summer of the year I graduated. That's when everything first happened. That was the first time he ever tried anything. Okay, so boom, y'all probably like, who is he? Who is this person that, you know, did this, would do it with? So like I told you, I was earlier, I was adopted by my sister and her husband, which his name is Gary Dwayne Bailey. And yeah, he was somebody, you know, who stepped in my life and filled a void and something that I was missing like my whole life, which was a father figure, someone who I called dad, because I didn't have a dad. You know, I didn't have a dad in the house, so I didn't have somebody to call dad. If I'm not saying, my dad was not present in my life, so he was that person for me when he came into our lives. Yes, RIP to my dad, my real dad, who, you know, did what he did to give birth to me. RIP to him. Yeah, that's another video, another story for another video. So yeah, the first time I kind of didn't really know, like, I mean, I knew, but I didn't like understand. Like, I was not afraid but confused. Like, he tried to make this whole facade of, oh, I'm going to high school, so I need to know about certain things. I need to know about sex. I need to know, you know, how a woman is pleased and all this other stuff. And at first I'm like, isn't it supposed to be a conversation for, like, you know, daughter, mom, you know, my sister and me, you know? Like, it was kind of weird at first. So the first time it ever happened, you know, he had, you know, asked me if I knew what a clitoris of. And before I get into the stories, it's a lot, you know, a lot of stuff happened a lot of times. You know, I'm not going to get into every single time because it's a lot, and this video will be long as H, okay? It would be so long, and we're not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you the basis, how to start it, some of the most main events, and how it ended. Yeah, so he had asked me if I knew what my clitoris was, and, you know, at the time, no, I did not. I just got out of 8th grade, about to go in high school. I didn't even take no sex class. I did not know what a clitoris is. You feel what I'm saying? No, I told him, so I said, no, I don't know what a clitoris is. And then he ended up reaching his hand over and touching my clitoris, and it was like, this is your clitoris. And then he started like using his fingers to play with it, and then he was asking me like, how did it feel? And I'm just sitting there in the seat, mind you, like, we're in his truck in front of the house, and I'm just sitting in the passenger seat like this, just how I'm sitting right here right now. That's how I was sitting just like this, and I'm like, my face is like, and then he ended up stopping. And then after that, we went in the house. I went to my room and I just cried, because I was just like, what the actual heck? Like, what just happened? Like, what is going on? Like, I can't not believe this. And this was not like, I would never have thought like he would do something like that, or even like, but at the time I wasn't even like, oh my gosh, like, he just, you feel what I'm saying? At the time I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, oh my god, like, this is crazy. So yeah, that was the first time, you know, that was the first time it ever happened where he initiated. Then it started happening over and over again, and then the first time he ever like actually like penetrated me with his, you know, private part, that was crazy. I woke up, you feel me, like, I can't even remember the exact time. When he actually penetrated me, but I definitely remember some times when I didn't woke up confused. Like I could tell y'all one time where he took me on his business trip, and I don't even understand how it was a business trip, y'all. I didn't know that till like we were already there. How it was a business trip when we drove literally that whole night. We went to a hotel, boom, then the next morning we left and went back. So he definitely lied about that business trip, and he literally just took me to the hotel to do what he did. So yeah, the hotel situation, he ended up saying, oh yeah, he was going on a business trip. Mind you, he was a real estate agent, and at first that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a real estate broker, not an agent, a real estate broker. And you know, me going to work with him and all this other stuff, you know, that was my way of seeing, you know, how things work, how things operate. And that was his excuse to bringing me on the trip that he used to my sister. So yeah, I ended up going with him. As we were riding in the car, he ends up making a stop, and at the time I didn't know what the store was, but now that I'm older, I know what the store is. But we stopped at a store, and like all the windows was blacked out, like you could not see inside the store. And if you know what blacked out tinted windows mean, we going a sex store. It was a sex store. So we ended up stopping at a sex store. Mind you, I didn't go inside the sex store. He went inside, but I didn't know what it was. And he ended up coming out with like a black bag, and I couldn't see what was inside the bag, and he put it in the trunk. So we were on the way. It was like, I believe it was in Valdosta or something like that. And we ended up going, and he ended up buying like these 2 drinks, and it was alcohol, but it kind of looked like juice, but it's called beatboxes, but they look like juice, but it's not juice, it's alcohol, and it gets you drunk as hell. But yeah, he ended up getting me these beatboxes, and I ended up drinking too. Mind y'all, I'm young. I'm so young. I don't remember how old I was. I was so young, y'all. I was young. I was under 16. Like, literally, I was under 16 getting drunk. Imagine how easily it was for me to get drunk. Just imagine. Just stop and imagine. Okay, cool. So yeah, I ended up drinking it. He had gave them to me. We had got food and everything. I'm drinking it like it's juice, y'all. Like, it tastes like juice. I think I had like the strawberry lemonade one, and y'all, it tastes like juice. Like, it tastes like juice. I didn't think it was alcohol, but it did have like a little bitter taste to it. But that's me saying it now because I didn't drink one before. But yeah, so I ended up drinking too, and I was drunk, y'all. Like, I was drunk. Like, I just remember my body being so numb. Like, I'm just like, and I just was laying on the bed, and like, I was like sleep but not sleep, if that makes sense. Like, I was sleep but not sleep. Like, I barely remember anything, but like, because I know I was asleep, but like, it was like visions. Like, it wasn't visions, but it was like I can remember like most of the highlights of the night. So yeah, I remember him. He had like a little vibrator thing, and yeah, and then I woke up and my motherfucking pants was down. It was blood on the bed, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, did this man just fucking me in my sleep? Like, what? Like, I remember I got up, I went to the bathroom, I literally took a piece of tissue and wiped my coochie, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not on my period, so I'm like, what the fuck like is going on? So me finding out that was my cherry getting broke. And if you know, that means when your cherry breaks, that means, you know, that's when you actually get penetrated, and, you know, some females, it happens when they first have sex. You know, it takes a little while for their cherry to break. But yes, that was my cherry that broke, and I didn't know what the fuck it was at the time. But yeah, so I'm in the bathroom like what the fuck. And then when I went back in there, he was asleep. And mind you, it was 2 separate beds. He got us 2 separate beds. He tried to make it seem like shit was sweet. And yeah, yeah, I need to rub my nails on my back. I had to rub my nails. But so yeah, and I ended up walking back in the room, and he was still asleep, and I was just laying there. I'm like, what the hell? I ended up laying on the other side where the other side from where the blood was. And you know, that wasn't really, you know, how I really experienced me like actually like losing my virginity. Like when your cherry pops, that's when you like really like, you know. So yeah, before this all happened, he used to tell us like, oh, he got all these guns and stuff, and how crazy he is, and how he done been to jail before, and all this stuff. So, you know, that kind of put a fear in my heart, you feel me, because he's my sister's husband, you feel what I'm saying? Yes, I was adopted by them. Yes, she's my mom by legal, but she's my sister. She's my blood sister. She's my mom's child, my biological mom's child. So that put a fear in my heart, because it's like, you're my sister's husband, you feel me? Like, what are you going to do to me if I tell somebody this, or if I tell her this? You feel what I'm saying? But I will be ruining your life while you're ruining mine right now during this process. So that's why I didn't say anything. That's why, you know, it took for me for so long for me to come out or even tell anybody. Like at this time, I don't even think I ever was thinking about even like, I was just afraid. Like I was scared. Like, bro, like I didn't know. Like seriously, like that's not something like, you know, like that's just, oh yeah, like no. Like there was a possibility that I was thinking that there was a possibility that this man might actually do something to me and hurt me if I did say something. So yeah, after that situation, we ended up going home the next morning, and that's when I was a little confused, because I was like, I thought this was like a business trip, and we literally just stay here. You didn't go to work. We were in this hotel since last night. So that kind of put a spark. But me thinking like all this stuff together, like now it's just like, wow, like I was really like manipulated and fucking tricked. Like it is so crazy and mind-blowing. So yeah, the last time it ever happened, it was at our house in Lithonia, and he got like, that was his thing, like giving me wine, giving me alcohol, letting me smoke weed. And mind you, I was young, 14, 15 years old, 16 years old, 17 years old, and that's was his thing, to get me intoxicated. Go Toothless again, y'all. To get me intoxicated to do what he needed to do. Back up off the camera. But yeah, the last time I ever saw him before, you know, the case and he got arrested and all this other stuff, was when him and my sister were at Publix, when we were doing the drop off, where he was getting the little kids, because she was so-called taking them to Disney World, which that was a lie. He never took them to Disney World. He lied to them. Well, I think he probably did like year after that, but he lied. He really took them down to Florida so he can move them down to Florida, because that's where he was moving with his mistress. So yeah, but he ended up, before that, I ended up posting something on Instagram about him, how he wasn't a good father, how, you know, deadbeat he was, and the things that he was doing was wrong, and everybody see him as this and that, but he's really not that. And that was my time. I really wanted to say, yeah, like he been doing this for me for years, but I did it because I was still scared. So I ended up, when we ended up meeting, like he ended up like, he was like, he grabbed me, like choked me, like, y'all, not like somebody daddy would choke, like, who you talking to? No, like he like strangled me, like he, and it was like, don't ever disrespect me ever again, because I told you I posted about him. Because it's like, you left us with no water, no heat. And it's so crazy because nobody, like, and my friends at the time, Trent, Jada, and Bonnie and Vibe, and them, like, nobody knew what I was going through. Like, I was going through school, all this other stuff at this time. Nobody knew what I was going through at home. Nobody knew this man was, you feel me, doing what he was doing to me. You feel what I'm saying? Nobody knew this shit, bro. Like, literally. But he ended up saying, like, yeah, don't ever disrespect me ever again. And I told him, I said, I didn't disrespect you. I just let the truth be told, and I told the truth. And he kind of like took me a little tighter than he had let me go. My sister said she didn't see it. I don't really know how she didn't see it, because it was literally about, she was putting the kids in the car. But yeah, like, after I put the kids in the car and I said goodbye to the kids, I got in the car and I just started crying. Like, I started busting out crying. And my sister's asking me, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And it's like, I can't even tell you. Like, I can't even tell you. Like, I want to tell you, but I can't tell you. Like, I want to tell you so bad, but I can't. Like it was crazy. So I ended up again telling her, like, yeah, he put his hands on me because of what I posted on Instagram, all this other stuff. And yeah, I finally it was just one day when I almost told them. This was before I almost told them, but I didn't tell them. When we were all sitting down, and this was time when they were doing like co-parenting and all this other stuff, and, you know, Shay was getting over, you know, all that other stuff. So we were all like after church, like sometimes, you know, our church would go like out to eat and stuff like that. But he had ended up coming down to visit with Kiana and the kids or whatever, and we all had to sit down talk at the table at this restaurant. And they trying to spill, oh, me and my sister need to stop doing this, need to start doing this, listening to him, all this other stuff, woo. And at this point, y'all, I'm like so fed up. Like, I'm like, bro, like, I'm finna tell y'all what this man is doing. Like, what he has done to me. Like, it's like he's trying to sit, and it's so crazy, y'all. He said, like, literally right across from me. Like, it was two, like, Shay, my sister was on this side, he was on this side, and then a woman was on this side, and two kids were on this side, and it was me and my sister. Like, he sat directly across from me, y'all. Directly across from me. I kid y'all not. No cap. He sat directly across from me, looking me in my eyes. This is how I know how crazy and something is wrong. He looked me in my eyes. I started saying, I started crying, y'all don't know who Gary really is and what he have done. Like, I started crying. Shay and everybody else, my pastor Monica and her husband, like, what's wrong? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was just kept saying it, and I was just crying. And then he was just looking at me like this. Like, I'm scared. Like, y'all, like, like, yes, like, I'm like, and y'all don't get me wrong, don't misjudge me because I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at, I'm just laughing because, you know, I am now, you know, like, over the situation, and it's crazy for me to hear. Like, I'm strong, so strong. I got through all of this and, like, was pretend. Thank you, Jesus. But yeah, like, so I end up Pastor Monica ended up like pulling me to the side from the table from everybody was, and she was like, what's going on? And I wanted to tell her so bad, so bad, but I couldn't. I'm just glad because it was not the right time, because who knows what he would have did. Who knows what he would have used as an excuse, or if they would even believe me at the time. You feel what I'm saying? Because we were all together. He could have been like, oh, was she lying? All this other stuff. Kiana right there. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't the right time. God said it wasn't the right time. I didn't tell them. Okay, cool. I want to say about a month or two later, I was going through some things, and it was like, I just finally was just like, I can't do this shit no more. Like the secret of everything that didn't happen was hindering me so bad, y'all. Like, I would be going through something else, and the fact that I went through that and that secret was hindering me. And it's like, it was already over. It was already over like a year or so, a year and some change after, you know, this didn't happen or whatever. So I just was like, I can't do it no more. Like, I want to set myself free. Like, I'm tired of thinking about it. Like, I'm tired of having dreams. I'm tired of, you know, seeing his face in my head and seeing what happened in my head. So, like, I ended up, you know, like, I couldn't tell her verbally, like, everything that, like, went on. But I ended up, like, writing everything. It was like 2 to 3 pages, y'all. 2 to 3 pages on everything from when the first time it happened to the last time it happened. To how nobody ever knew, to what he was doing, to what he was giving me, to how he had to buy me. Y'all don't even know. Oh my gosh, I missed the whole part. Y'all don't even know about. I'm gonna get to that. Y'all, this man had to buy me. And it's so crazy because now that I'm talking about this, and like I was literally just telling my mom this the other day, like, so much stuff then popped in my head about what didn't happen over the years now that the case is over, and I'm kind of mad because, like, bro, if I would have told them this would have helped the case. Like, I mean, either way, you know, the case was gonna win, but it would have, you know, show his character even the more. You feel what I'm saying? But I didn't tell nobody this, and it's just not coming to my head like just now. But I did tell Shane this, but I ended up having a pregnancy scare. And I didn't know, but he ended up giving me a plan B. I mean, I know what it is now, but he ended up giving me a pill, and he said it's gonna make my stomach feel better, because I was telling him, like, my stomach was hurting and stuff. Like, my stomach was hurting, and he thought I was pregnant and gave me a plan B and was telling me to drink pineapple juice. And if you're a girl, you know. But yeah, and I wasn't pregnant. You just knew what you was doing to me, and I was telling Shay and telling him that my stomach was hurting. But yeah, I just told them everything. But I just told her everything. I just wrote everything down, and from there, she ended up talking to me. I think she had like went on a walk or a drive, like after I gave her the letter or something. You know, it's a lot for her. You know, it was her husband. You know what I'm saying? She's my sister, but she ended up, you know, calling me in her room and was talking to me, and she was like, she already knew, and because, you know, God and the Holy Spirit already told her. She said the day that we were at the table, when I kept saying that we don't know who he is and what he have done, that it was kind of confirmation for her. And, you know, at first, like, I wasn't really thinking nothing of it, but then, like, on into the process, like, during the process, what she said kind of, like, hurt me. It hindered me, because through these years, I was so scared and afraid to say anything because of what he might do to me. Because I said anything, you know. And then she, you know, she tells me, you know, she already knew that the Holy Spirit and God already told her. That kind of bothered me, because it was like, I wish if you knew, you could have came and talk to me or set me down separately and ask me, like, bluntly, what's going on with you and Gary? Did Gary do anything? But not once did anybody have that conversation with me. But so it was just kind of like, you could have control over the situation. Now, it could have been stopped sooner, but I'm not blaming. Disclaimer, I'm not blaming my sister for how long it lasted. None of that. That's just something how I personally, you know, that's just something how I felt, and it's just like, it kind of was hindering me, because it's like, if the Holy Spirit telling you it might be something going on, why are you not moving your feet. But at the same time, you know, everybody grow, you know, and, you know, everybody make, you know, it's not a mistake because she didn't, you know, she knew. But another video. But yeah, she told me that she already knew, but she told me she was telling, you know, calling the police. We was gonna be taking further action. We ended up telling police. 2 detectives came out. They ended up talking to me. I had to explain to them the situation, what happened, when it started and when it ended. The detectives in the case end up saying in court, and they end up lying, saying basically I wasn't being cooperative, but that's a lie. How am I not being cooperative? I'm telling y'all a trauma that I only told one other person, and that was my sister, and I couldn't even tell her. Of course I'm gonna barely be able to talk. Of course I'm gonna be silent. Of course I'm gonna be stuttering on my words. Of course I'm gonna break down and shut off. What do y'all expect? A young girl is telling her trauma that she only told one person, and she barely can tell it now. So I felt like that information was very cap, and they tried to use that in the case, and that was not what was going on. It was very hypocrite of him to use that. But yeah, but I ended up having to tell the detectives that they wrote down everything. Months later, months later, they ended up was like, oh, you have to do a forensic interview. I'm like, forensic interview? Like off the movies? Like I'm finna be in a room and there's finna be a camera and a mic and I'm finna have somebody sit across from me? They was like, yeah, but no, like you're not in trouble. They're not gonna be interrogating you or nothing, but you're gonna go talk to a professional and tell your story. And I was like, okay, cool. So I think it was in like June or something like that. I ended up telling them I had to go to the interview, and shout out to the lady. I do not remember her name. But she made me so comfortable in this case, like to like even have this interview. Like I have the tape, and I am going to. That's another video. Y'all want to see the tape on another video. Matter of fact, that means y'all have to come back if y'all want to see my forensic interview, because I have the video like explaining everything. So that's another video. Hey y'all, so I'm editing the video right now. Disclaimer: the forensic interview video that I am going to be posting as a second video after I post this video, that explains everything in detail, like everything in detail, mind you. That video that you guys are going to see in the next video, that video was taking the same year that I told somebody, so my memory was, you know, very clear and I remember everything. But in the video I will, you know, explain to y'all that it did take like at least 2 years for them to actually get a case, and where I had to explain everything again. So I did not remember everything clearly by word. But yeah, that's in the second video, so y'all come back and watch that video. So yeah, shout outs to her, kudos to her, because she made me comfortable in that situation, and I never did nothing like that before, and it was weird at first, but I was comfortable. Yeah, so I went to the interview. You know, I had to explain. I was there for hours. I was there for hours and hours. And yeah, and then somebody, you know, another person, you know, a lot of people kept telling me like, you're so strong, like you're strong to even come out right now to explain again. Like I know you keep having to explain your story, and I'm like, yeah, like y'all don't understand. Like, and it's like, back then I wasn't really showing my emotions out loud. I would only show my emotions when I'm like in the room by myself, or like if I'm in the bathroom. Like I'll like outside, like nobody, that's what I'm saying, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew I had this case. Nobody knew I was going through this, because it was like I hid my feelings, hid how I felt so well, like so well. Yeah, so after the interview, I said they was investigating. It was a case, and I want to say about what, 2 years later, 2.5 years later, almost 3 years, they was like, oh, we have a court date. But before that, this year he was trying to get out on bail, so they end up arresting him. So after I told them everything, where the places was, they had so much evidence, y'all. Like, they went out and took pictures, like everything, y'all. Like They had so much evidence. They ended up arresting him, and he was in jail for a good 2 years before the case, and because of the situation. So he was already in jail, and he was trying to he was trying to get bond so he can get out, but the judge kept denying it because look what you're in for, and we too much evidence. Like, it wasn't, you wouldn't be in here if there wasn't no evidence for real. But yeah, he tried to get bond earlier this year twice, maybe 3 times, and they denied it all the time. So that was pointless to, you know. Even then we had court, which was the actual trial. They told us 2 years later that we had a court date, and you know, it is going to be a trial. And you know, we thought it was gonna be like 2 days, 3 days. Nope, it was a whole week long. And you know, I ended up talking to my attorneys. You know, she then told me, you know, it's okay, you know, just go up there when you talk to them, stand, just tell the truth. Like, I'm not, she was like, I'm not here to give you no script, I'm not here to tell you what to say, you just gonna go up there, be yourself, and tell the truth. And that's exactly what I did. So yeah, first day of trial, they were just picking the jury, and I guess they had a little deliberations. I wasn't there the first day, but I was there the second day. So they end up getting us a hotel in Cobb County, because that's where the case was. And mind you, the sexual assault was happening in Cobb. It started in Cobb County, and it was happening in DeKalb County. I was supposed to have 2 trials, 2 court cases, but it's not gonna happen because I'm about to tell you why. So the second day, they end up, like I told you, they end up putting us in a hotel in Cobb County, because it was far. It was like an hour from where we stayed, and they put us in a hotel, and they had like a detective drive us around. They paid for our food. Like, they paid for all our food, they paid for the hotel, they paid for everything. Like, we get reimbursed for everything. And I even got a check coming from the state. I don't know what it's for or what it's for, but thank you, Jesus. But yeah, so the second day, which was the day that I had to testify, like, on everything, like, really happy, y'all. Like, I was shaking in my boots. Like, mind you, it was my first time seeing him after a very long time. You know, I was scared to face him, and then finding out he was representing himself. Why y'all think he was representing himself? Because when you have an attorney, or you have a lawyer, well, a defense attorney, you have to tell them the truth, even if you're pleading not guilty, or even if you're pleading guilty, you have to tell them the truth, so they know what the attorneys is going to throw back at them, so they know how to come back at them. But he didn't want to tell nobody the truth, and he sounded stupid trying to play lawyer, and that's what ended up happening. And I didn't know, but when I found out, I'm like, oh my god. So that means I have to testify in front of him, and he has to ask me questions. But I knew I was going to have to testify in front of him either way, but I didn't know he was going to have to ask me questions, because I'm like, whoa, that's kind of, whoa, like, he has to ask me questions, whoa. But I did it. I definitely did it. The day of court, they end up, when they called me in there, I was nervous, I was scared, a part of me was relieved, part of me was happy that I'm getting it over with, but overall I was just thankful that I'm getting justice, because a lot of other females, and a lot of, you know, even males, they don't never come out, they don't never tell anybody, they keep the secret their whole lives. And you know, that's something that carries with you. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm glad that I was able and was strong enough to be set free of that. Yeah, so I had to go up there. When I went in there and testified, I walked up there. You know, I had a little cute outfit on, y'all. My hair was done. You know, I was done stuff. Do. Y'all know me. And I sat on the stand. You know, I had to raise my right hand. You know, I had to say, you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and all this other stuff. And I had to say, I do. You feel what I'm saying? Right hand on the Bible. I did. So yeah. First, my attorney started asking me questions. She started asking me about the relationship before the abuse with me and Gary. She started asking me, when did it start? She asked me a lot. She asked me basically everything, like the details, like when the first time it happened, when the last time, the times that I do remember, remember it happening. I had to explain it like detail by detail, because it was a jury. It was a jury decision. I did get emotional during the trial. I am not sure if the trial is recorded, but I know the decision, on the verdict day, that was recorded. They said that was recorded, but I don't know if the actual trial was recorded because of the sensitive topic. I don't know, but I am going to look into it because they do record most cases. But yeah, I end up getting like emotional because she had to present pictures, how our relationship was, or how I was hiding it so well, and one of the pictures was I actually could put it right here, and but one of the pictures was this, and it was me, and him, at his birthday party, and we were hugging, and it hurt me because it was just like two things. It was crazy because it's like, wow, that little girl, my little self, was hiding this so well, and nobody knew how good I was hiding it. Like, a smile on my face. You can look at a picture and you couldn't tell that I was getting sexually assaulted by him. So that hurt me, and it's like, bro, like how strong I was. That's why I cried. Yeah, so when he ended up going on the stand and asking me questions, he ended up laughing at one of the questions that he asked. He ended up laughing, and that made me mad. That made me emotional. I started crying, and because at that point, if you know me, I don't like to be made of as a fool. I don't like when people try to make me a joke and make it seem like I'm lying. I don't like that. Like, that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate that. Like, I do not like that. Like, I really do not like that. So when he laughed in my face in this situation, it was just like, do you think this is a joke? Like, and then it's the fact how sick he is, like mentally and physically. Like, it's mind-blowing to me, because it's like, you just sat up here and laughed in front of the jury, in front of the judge, in front of my attorney, in front of your intern, well, your legal advice, because at the time he didn't have an attorney. You're laughing at my emotion and how I'm feeling, and about me telling you what you did. That was the one thing. So now you contradicted yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Now you contradicted yourself. Boom. After that, after he got done asking me questions, mind you, he basically had to ask me, his whole plot, or his whole like case was, oh, my sister was staging me to say all these things and make up all these things because of the divorce, which was a lie. The divorce, not the divorce, the custody over the little kids, which was a lie. The custody was she already had got custody over the kids. Before I even told them about the situation, she already got custody over the kids. She already won that case. So that was a lie. He was already supposed to be paying child support, and that was another reason why he's locked up, because he wasn't paying that child support. That's another reason. That's just another charge. That's a separate case. Separate. But yeah, and like he tried to make it seem like, oh, Shay was telling me everything what to say, and she made this up for me to say, and I'm making it all up. So he was asking me questions like, how was our relationship, and all this other stuff, and if I was doing this to you, why would you do this? Why would you be wanting to go with me places? Why all this? And I said, because I was scared for my life. What are you talking about? This is not something normal. This is not somebody that I don't see every day. This is somebody that I see every day. That's a part of my life. You feel what I'm saying? This is not someone that's not bloodly related to me. This is someone that was married into my family. You get what I'm saying? This is somebody who keep telling me they're crazy. They have a lot of guns and they've been to jail. And I'm young. I was young at the time. That's why I didn't tell nobody. That's why I didn't say anything. Mr. Gary Dwayne Bailey. But yeah, so after he got done asking me those questions and everything, once he laughed, he kind of sold it for himself with the whole case. Because, like, why would you laugh? Even if you so-called didn't do it and I'm on stage to say it, why are you laughing? If anything, I'm your daughter, right? You love me, right? Then you would have been sensitive. You would have been like, no, like, why is my daughter accusing me of this? Like, no, y'all. When I tell you this man had no emotion throughout this whole case, even the sentencing, he had no emotion, and his life is gone. Y'all, I don't understand. It's only a few words I can describe it. Crazy and sick. Like, crazy and sick. Like, for real. Like, so boom. Second day, they was all day. First day, I testified, my sister testified. Third day, they had more people testifying. Fourth day, we had closing arguments. He had the option to go on stand or to not go on stand. He ended up did go on stand, but unfortunately I wasn't there. I mean, I was there in the courthouse, but I wasn't in the courtroom because my attorneys was scared, but they thought that he was going to hand me and my sister a subpoena. And if you don't know what a subpoena is basically where he can put us back on the stand, because he probably found out some more information. He probably trying to sabotage his case. So yeah. So we didn't end up going to protect our case. We didn't end up going in the courtroom so he can serve us a subpoena. So we wasn't in the courtroom when he testified. But our attorneys did end up telling us that he lied on stand, y'all. He lied on the stand. After you had to raise your right hand and tell them that you're gonna tell the truth. That was why he ended up lying on stand. She caught him lying on stand. And once again, he laughed and joked about this situation. Which was crazy, because if you were smart, but it was just kind of like either way, because if you were smart you wouldn't get on the stand, but if you were smart you would go on the stand, because if you were smart it's kind of confusing. Like, I just said that twice, but because it's like if you go on the stand it can make you look not guilty, but it can make you look guilty by your answers, he was guilty definitely by his answers. I mean, he was guilty regardless, but if you don't go on the stand it makes you look even more guilty. You feel what I'm saying? So he ended up going on the stand, which was a dumb idea, because my attorneys ate him up for dinner, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That was their breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay. So boom, we end up having to wait that whole day, y'all. That whole day. Mind you, it was like Thursday. The whole day. Boom. Closing arguments. Okay. Yeah, cool. I like the closing arguments. That means we're getting to the finish. Y'all, I'm in here shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all. Like, oh my god. So boom, he ended up his side. So mind you, at this time he ended up wanting an attorney. This whole time, through this whole 4-day process, he was representing himself. He was playing lawyer. He was crazy and delusional. He told us, oh, he got his doctorate and all this other stuff, his PhD in business. No, yeah, he got a degree in music at a Christian college. I cannot make this up, y'all. Like, I cannot make this up. Like, he didn't was signing my papers, Dr. Gary Bailey. You're not a doctor. Stop lying to these people. So that was another thing they ended up bringing up a court to prove how he's a liar and a manipulator. So yeah, closing arguments come. He ended up going. Well, his attorney that stepped in. Which he was stressed out. You could tell on his face, like he was stressed out because of the case. Like he was like, "You're telling they bringing up all this evidence. She's putting in details, but you're saying this. It wasn't making sense." And they did give him a plea deal. It was I believe it was 15, or it was like 20 or something, and served 15 years, and then the rest on probation. He ain't take it. He didn't take it. So you feel me? I'm not my problem. So he ended up going, the attorney, tried to say, "Oh, well, how could he have done this when, they were so, these pictures of him and her, they were going on daughter and daddy dates and all this other stuff. She wrote him a Father's Day card on how he was the best dad ever and all this other stuff." That's what his whole facade was, and that's what he tried to spill to the jury and all this other stuff. And boom. Then my bomb behind attorneys come in and step in, and she literally had a PowerPoint, y'all. Like, I kid y'all, I wish I would have took a picture or a video record. I don't think I could, but I wish I did. PowerPoint. She had a whole PowerPoint. She presented to the whole courtroom, the judge, and the jury, y'all. When I mean she clocked every piece of that man's teeth, like his attorney, like everything that he said. Mind you, she went second. Everything that he said, she went back and proved him wrong on the PowerPoint. Mind you, she already did the PowerPoint before he even went up to the jury. Like, tell me. That's they nicknames, y'all. They nickname is Ho and Heifer, y'all. They only they understand why we call it Ho and Heifer. But I'm gonna explain it to y'all at the end. But so yeah, she had a whole PowerPoint. She broke it down, and I mean broke it down. She had the jury and us like, I know that's right. Clock the T. So yeah, she came back. Everything he had to say, she had something to say back to it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it was that. Like, it was, she ate that up. Like, she definitely ate that up. That time, we knew, like, it was over. Like, we already knew it was over because God is good and the devil will never win when it becomes between him and God. You feel what I'm saying? So, I already knew. Like, it was, like, it's so crazy. Like, in the case, I wasn't, like, my heart wasn't scared. Like, I wasn't nervous that we was going to, like, lose the case. I think I was more nervous that I had to go, testify in front of him. Like, but I did it. I did. But yeah, so boom, after closing arguments was done, the jury had to go back and deliberate. Everybody had to make a decision. Mind you, if you don't know how the jury works, if one person says he is not guilty, it's a mistrial. A mistrial is where you have to start it all over again. Gotta do it all over again. But yeah, so we waited the 4th day. They said they're not going to find a verdict because they were closing the office at 4 or 5 o'clock, I believe. And so we had to come home. And I'm like, y'all, so y'all want me to go home and wait a whole other day after y'all deliberate about the verdict? Really? Y'all, I wasn't really stressing that bad, actually. I wasn't stressing for real. Like, I really wasn't. Everybody kept asking me, like, how you feel? Like, you nervous? No, I'm okay. I'm just ready to get it over with. Like, so yeah. 5th day, which is so crazy. It was on Halloween. Like, stuff always happened on Halloween. It was on Halloween. And mind you, they were closing the office early. But we got there at like 9 or 10 or something like that. Boom. It took them like 2 hours. Again, after it took them like 4 or 5 yesterday. But shout out to the jury because thank you for believing in me and believing in me. And without y'all and God, hello. But yeah, so it's so crazy because I was like, I had to go to the bathroom, and it was like something was telling me as soon as when I come back from the bathroom, the verdict is gonna be in. My nerves. So I ended up going to the bathroom. I come back and my sister and her friend had ended up coming in the bathroom, and they were using the bathroom. I'm washing my hands. Then one of the ladies that was, helping with the case or whatever, she came and was like, they have a verdict. The jury has a verdict. I'm like, fuck. It's that time. It's that time. My sister and her friend was like, I was like, hurry up, y'all, hurry up. They was taking too long for the bathroom. I was the main person, you feel what I'm saying? So they had already took me down there. It's like, come on. So they took me down there and they brought everybody else down there. The judge was saying the charges. She started saying the charges and all this other stuff. I should have recorded it. I should have recorded it. She started saying the charge. Ooh, excuse me. She started saying the charges. Then one of the juries, they start reading the verdict. They said he was found guilty for the first charge, found guilty for the second charge. I started crying. Found guilty for the third charge, and he got 3 charges. And his charges was, actually, I got him on paper. Hold on, I'll be back. Oh, which I thought I was gonna do an unboxing iPad video. No. Ow. This is the paper. They gave me, like, whole paper of his charges and stuff. So, they found Gary DeBane Bailey guilty for rape, guilty for child molestation, and guilty for content to delinquent minor. I guess, well, which is that's giving like a minor drugs and alcohol. Yeah. So yeah, once I heard that, I was just like, dang, like, you should have took the plea deal, man. But I was so happy, y'all. Like, I was so relieved. Like, y'all don't even know, like, the weight that came off of my shoulders. Like, it felt like I was holding, like, a pound of weights. And I was just like, I could breathe. Y'all, I could breathe, y'all. But yeah, so after that, they was like, that's it. And, he was found guilty. We left. Everybody was hugging us, saying how proud they was of me, how strong I was. And then, y'all, everybody keep telling me, like, I could be the next United States president. I mean, not the next United States president. Not the next one, because you got to think about it. But I could be the president of the United States. Y'all, get this in the video. Yeah, like, everybody kept telling me, like, how strong I was. And, like, I was just kept crying because I'm just like, y'all don't even know how, like, y'all don't even know, like, how hard, like, y'all don't even know, like, but they kept saying how proud he was and how strong I was, everything I had been through and this, and I was relieved. I was ready to go celebrate. Like, I was so relieved, y'all. So, yeah, so then they ended up telling us that they were going to, get a, they're going to have a separate court date for the sentencing or whatever. They wasn't going to do it the same day because they thought I was going to do it with a different judge, but it ended up being the same judge. So, yeah. So, they ended up making a date, and the date was December 6th, which was not too long ago. But December 6th, that's when, the sentencing. So, boom, we came deep. Like, all my friends was there. Literally, everybody I call my friend was there. Like, everybody. So, shout out to everybody who came and supported me and showed up for me and was there for me and didn't judge me and allowed me to be vulnerable with y'all. I love y'all. But yeah, so they all came to my sentencing and I was so happy. And we had to write a letter and I ended up writing a letter, and I am going to read this letter to you guys. And yeah. So now I'm going to read y'all my letter that I had to read in front of the whole courtroom, and I had to read in front of him. And we wasn't supposed to write like a letter directly like to him, like F you and all this other stuff. This is just something, I needed to do for my sake, and you feel what I'm saying? So I said, I want to start by saying I forgive you, Gary, but most importantly, I forgive myself. It took a very long time for me to be free of this hindering secret. It has impacted my life both good and bad. It has made me break down, doubt myself, blame myself. It put me in a dark place, and I felt stuck, scared, and ashamed. Didn't know how to deal with how I was feeling. Didn't know who I should tell. Should I even tell? Scared that my little siblings would grow up without a dad like me, and scared he might do the same thing to scared you might do the same thing to my little sisters when she gets older. The feeling was unbreakable, but God. Good came out of the hurricane. I can help other people who have been through the same thing as me, or anything they go through. It has pushed me to my passion soon to have my degree in psychology and internships to be a therapist. This trauma taught me self-love. People usually say your first heartbreak is with your partner, but mine was with someone I called dad, someone I trusted. This has been a long process, but I'm relieved that this is over and justice has been served. Thank you to my attorneys, the investigators, and everyone else who was involved in this case. Everyone who was there for me every way through the process. That was my letter that I had to write. Well, I didn't have to, but I chose to, and I have presented to him, and I hope he, really takes what I said and uses it, and he does forgive himself. You feel what I'm saying? But who knows? Yeah. So after I said my letter, after my sister said her letter, the judge, ended up telling him what his sentence was, and which y'all probably been waiting for this whole video. But yeah, so this is his sentence for each charge. So for the rape charge is life to serve. For the child molestation is 20 years and 19 years to serve. And for the uncontent delinquent was 12 months. But the judge ended up giving the defendant life. He got life in prison. And yeah, and he's on he's registered as a child, what they call it, child defender or something like that, child molestation, I don't know, but he's registered as that. And he basically, if he was to get out, but he's not going to get out, but if he was to get out, he can't do nothing. He can't be around, he can't go nowhere that got kids. He can't stay at nobody's house who got kids. None of that. He can't reach out to me nor my family or friends. He can't do nothing. He can't even watch TV with kids on it. He can't, none of that. None of it. He can't go to the grocery store. But that's if he was out, or if he would have probably took them 15 years and them 20 years to serve 15, but he didn't. So now he got life in prison. When I was reading him my letter, he did look like he was about to break down, but he didn't. But he did look like he was about to break down. He kept, shaking his head and agreeing to what I was saying. So I hope he is, taking that consideration. And, if you somehow have a phone and get a phone and, watch YouTube and you see this video, I hope you are, taking in what I said, and you forgave yourself and you repented and allowed God to heal you. After they sentenced him to life, that was it. My attorney was like, it's over. I can breathe. You feel what I'm saying? I'm good. And that was that. I felt a relief. I'm not gonna lie, I don't wish I wouldn't wish prison on my worst enemy, but this is what had to happen. This is, you know, it just had to happen. But yeah, he ended up getting sentenced to life in prison. And that's his charges. So, yep. But that's really the end of my sexual assault case. Like it was happening. My sexual assault was happening 9, 10. It was going on for 3 years. And then I finally, you know, got to tell somebody after it was happening for 3 years. Then I had to wait another 2 years for us to finally have, you know, a court date and have trial. The trial was a whole week, but they had us in a nice hotel with some more stuff, like, for real, like, pay for our food, like, we was good, but, yep, that's the end of this video. That's literally, like, my case. Like, I didn't want to get, you know, too deep into details and, you know, things that I ain't dead, you know, because, you know, that's probably a lot, and I really don't want YouTube to take down my video, but, yeah, that's my sexual assault case story, and more videos are coming. This page will not only just be about my life story, but it will be about real things, about things I do in a daily life. But for right now, for my introduction, I'm going to be telling y'all my backstory and, you know, my life. Look forward to the next 2 videos, which will be my full life story from when I came out the coochie. Yes, my life is a movie, and nobody knows. Only a few people know that my life literally is a movie. But yes, I will be telling y'all, like, from birth to now, how my life was. Like, it was crazy everywhere, all the way around the place. But yeah, so bye y'all, this is the end of this video. Thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, thank y'all for listening, thank y'all for staying this far, because this is not an easy subject for anybody. And I just want to say, for everybody, and for anybody who ever got sexually assaulted, ever, you know, had anything happen like this to them, and don't be afraid, don't be scared to come out and tell somebody. I promise you, you will feel freer, you will feel better when you come out and tell somebody and you set yourself free. Yes, you did not do it to yourself, but it's hindering you. So once you tell somebody, you know, and to the people who, you know, it didn't happen years ago, and you're grown and you're still not telling nobody, cheers to you, because I don't know how you do it, because I couldn't do it. But yeah, thank y'all for watching this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Go share this video to everybody. Share this video to somebody that you know has been sexually assaulted, and encourage them to tell their story too.